Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Unification casts this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 1 vs 1 on Meeting of Minds. Playing on the right side as the Steel Legion, we've got HUNtington. And playing on the left side as the Dark Eldar, we've got Vrax. Vrax will be opening up with a couple of Mandrake squads, a Dark Foundry and a Plasma Generator. Whereas HUNtington is going to go for a couple of Legionaries, a couple of Pioneer squads, and a Relay Station. It's actually quite a brave opening that we're seeing from HUNtington here. As you might have seen on the little left-hand side thing here, he has gone for the Tank Company Command, whatever you call it, tech path. Which means that in the early game, he's not going to get those big infantry kind of things on the go, or even in the mid-game, to save it all up potentially for the mid-game and late-game and get some big stonking old tanks out, which against the Dark Eldar is quite risky, especially with the Dark Foundry opening, as I'll probably assume to see some Hellions coming out of here, maybe also some Reaver jetbikes as well, which will quite handily take on these Legionaries, but we are seeing one squad go for the tried and tested grenade launchers, which are absolutely amazing for Legionaries. We'll also see some trench turrets as well. Steel Legion have got quite powerful turrets in the grand scheme of things, and this map being quite good for a defensive kind of strategy, so it might work out in the end to see some assault equipment requisitions for the assault weapons, you know, things like grenades and other bits and bobs and whatnot. So, cool, nice one. And what are you going to go for on this side? You're going to go, yeah, Hellions, that is the idea. Just coming straight out and smashing things up. And you've only gone for 2 Mandrakes. Sometimes you will see players on Meeting of Minds go for 3 capping units, as opposed to the usual 2. Just they can grab all their bits and bobs super duper quick. But no, he's just going to make sure that he saves up that money for the Hellions and the Reaver jetbikes. Legionnaires going into the centre, looking for that critical location, just to keep an eye on where the Dark Eldar manoeuvre around. And here comes the first squad of Hellions, which will probably see these Legionaries on the way. We'll be able to cut through them pretty quickly. Their grenade launcher is not going to help them at this stage if they get caught in close combat. We're managing to get one shot off, knocking them around. If I'm actually going to get... Oh no, that was a frag grenade, I think. Or something like that. There's something going on. Although, one thing, if you are a long-time viewer of the channel, you will remember in the previous patch of 6 point something with that, these guys did not have a setup time for the grenade launchers, if memory serves. They're a little bit weaker than normal. Oh no. As HUNtington done the one thing that I tend to do quite a lot. Oh no, he's still got people capping, right, okay. Hasn't forgotten to cap this just yet. The one advantage of the Steel Legion is that they are able to cap things with their builders as well as their tier 1 units. So quite good on maps like this. Alien taking down one Pioneer squad, Reaver jetbike maneuvering around, going to prevent these guys from capturing the relic. Another grenade being thrown over. And Hellion struggling a little bit. Lost one model, another one soon to go up, but they will get a fresh one. There we go, yeah, nice one. Sometimes, I'm quite bad at this. You can talk to Shark about this. Quite often, whenever I'm playing on a Discord, he's always reminding me to 1, capture the points, and 2, upgrade my listing posts, which is a major weakness for me. Yeah, quite nice use of the listing post here. The Reaver jetbikes aren't very good at doing damage to buildings. So hiding inside, it's not a bad idea at all. But then again, the Hellions are now in the heavy cover, so they will take a reduction in range damage. Seeing the fire control bunker being upgraded with some shooty bits. Defensive reasons. And all things considered, even though the Steel Legion are massively out DPS'd in this scenario, they are doing a pretty damn good job. Oh dear. The Reaver jetbike just teasing him, saying, "Aye, try and kill me, you bastards." But before fading away, double checking to make sure that the slag deposits are not being molested by those Steel Legionaries. We've got quite a good amount of lads, and both squads, oh no, only one squad has got the grenade launchers. How much do you cost for an upgrade? They cost 20 blue and 5 green, not expensive at all. So even if he wanted to go for some more, that would be an option for him. Vrax has got that critical location countdown victory on the go, so we'll need to see if they can decap it. More grenades being thrown. Wonderful use of them consistently throughout these battles. Reaver jetback needs to fall back. Get some loving from the tortured slaves. Perky stick, but no, he's going to completely ignore them. Just feeling it. If they just turn around, just get one shot off. One volley of las fire will take out and reduce the overall DPS from these jetbikes by 1/3. Mandrake's tempting to have a little look-see at that relic, but will be chased away. More generators on the go, tier 2. has started tier 2. Yep, tier 2 is going for you as well. And it's going to be difficult all the way through for the Steel Legion, I think. Comparing and contrasting Dark Eldar to their Soulstorm counterparts. In Soulstorm, kind of quite good in early game, quite good in late game, a bit mid in the mid game. Pardon the... Is it millennial or is it Gen Z slang? Can't remember when mid was used as a coined term first and foremost. But in Unification, quite good all around, to be honest. In tier 2, their Scourges can have access to all sorts and all manners of weaponry. And the... Is it Vrax or Vrax that they get out in tier 2? Or is it the other one, the Homunculi? Cannot remember. Well, the Homunculi and the heroes and the group of hodgepodge people. Riverjet being finished up again, and they have still not quite captured this strategic point. Dear oh dear, that is very unfortunate for them. So they're really only running on 3 cylinders here. And now going to get that Legionary barracks. And I assume going to go straight into vehicles. That'd be the way to go here. Maybe a couple of...
5 minutes.
Oh, what they're called? Not sentries. Are they called sentries? The things on the 2 walker things from Star Wars. Completely forget what they're called at the moment. And maybe a Hydra or 2. We've seen Hydras on the channel before. Have a remarkably good range, remarkably good DPS and stuff. So we've got to finish it. Expanded infantry weapons cache for their missile launchers and stuff. Won't need to get too many missile launchers in all fairness, since these Reaver jetpacks only have 400 max health. The Hellions still massing in number. Now that you're in tier 2, are you going to go for anything substantial? Hall of Blood, see, I assume. We're going to go for some of the souped up infantry for the Dark Eldar. Massa Boy has been tied up by 1 squad of Hellions. Do need to make sure that your infantry squads are stood away from each other just a little bit, to make sure that they don't both get tied up at the same time.
How about some action? 4 minutes.
And they're also going to go for some plasma rifles as well, just in case any of that heavy infantry come their way. Dark Eldar, as the game goes on, their infantry becomes a lot more melee focused with their succubuses, their witches, whatever you call them. And also their demon dogs, warp beasts, and the warp fiends as well. And they've got 3.5 minutes left to get some decaps in for those critical locations, and all the critical locations currently have been captured by Vrax yet. Current economy 74 and 30 compared to 161 and 50. Crikey on a bikey. They definitely need to make some punches ASAP. There's one Hellion being slowed down by something. It's not the end though. They've now got their tank battery up and going. Ah, yes, you are called Sentinels. Oh no, you were. I thought they were called Sentries, but no, Sentinels. It was close. First 3 letters were done. Mandrakes have now been infiltrated. Won't be able to tie up the infantry now though. 1 Reaver jetpack goes down quite quickly. And those rockets, yep, making a massive game changer there. And taking care of those Reaver jetbikes. Are seeing some Mandrakes just chilling out over here. Listening post, the Tower of Loathing even, being built up on both of these points. No wonder why Vrax got such a substantial economy at the moment. But the Armoured Pattern Sentinel, or the Armageddon Pattern Sentinel, is now out and is hankering for some assault or some autocannons. Have spotted the Mandrakes. They cannot stand up against all that firepower. I don't think the Hellions are going to fancy getting involved neither. Here we go, those racks. They've been upgraded with some poison blades. Damage over time. But unable to get too close. Quite tanky for a Dark Eldar unit.
2 minutes until
but the Steel Legion, Mr. HUNtington himself, won't be focusing too much on trying to take down the Dark Eldar at the moment. Probably recapping this stuff here. And also getting the... there we go. We've got 1 Sentinel decapping the thing over here. Really, really need to focus. I see what they're doing. They're coming over here and putting some pressure down this side in the heavy cover where they might have some advantages. But this is probably public enemy number 1 that they really need to focus on. Here comes some Scourges armed with dart lances. Good for sniping out the Sentinels and anything else that the Steel Legion can cook up. One dude over here being stabbed to death. A whole manor of Mandrakes. Got Trojan out. quite a reliable rebuilding or repairing unit. But Hydra going to go for 2. Unlike your regular builders who are able to rebuild stuff, Trojan is, I mean, it does the exact same kind of job, but because it's a tank, it's got a lot more health, more reliable. Lots of Dark Eldar dying in that charge there. Really, really can't underestimate the defensive capacity of the Steel Legion. Much like any Imperial Guard faction, defense is where they play best, but they should really... I'm not sure if he's even realised that this is going on. Getting a bit of tunnel vision. Vrax are moving forward, trying to focus down that Sentinel, but it is being repaired by the Trojan. I'm going to turn their attention to the Trojan itself. Attempts to the 3.110. Engineer is chilling out on the backside. Bring 1 missile launcher that way just for good measure. And anything else coming out of the tank factory? No, not at the moment. But they have managed to capture this point, which is something. There's something indeed. Have you got much money spent left over? No. I mean, you have got a respectable amount. Need more vehicle cap increase if you're going to make use of that tank company commander.
Yes, sir.
Morale being broken on 1 squad as the Sentinel moves back. I do believe 1 has been killed at some stage. Oh, right, very, very brave. You're going to go for tier 3 on the back of this. Well, very little money to play with when you get into tier 3, but... I mean, what is it in tier 3? You get your tank cases? Question mark. You don't need that much green money, or so much blue money, to make a vehicle composition work. I do believe that 1 tank case can make a big difference for a unit composition here. But already losing 1 listing post here. You can do a lot on free listing posts. There are quite a lot of maps where the common amount of listing posts you get are free. But then again, you've also given 2 to your enemy. Oh, you've lost 1. Here comes Sentinel with very little health to decap that. So not too bad, but still very risky indeed. Here comes the vehicle cap increase at 100 blue, so not very expensive. Again, I imagine it's a bit cheaper, considering that they are doing the tank company commander. Vrax going to go for a homunculus. I do believe he already got that once, but I think it died at some point. And also with 1 thermoplasma generator. Here they come, straight into a Hydra. That Hydra should be able to quite happily fire at these scourges without being anywhere near them.
Until taken hold victory.
Taking hold victory for both blue points and critical locations are in their favour. Who just died here? That was the Pioneers. Give it a good go. There we are, firing at a distance. Massively outrange most things. Get a couple of these bad boys in your composition. Keep them safe and you'll do a mighty fine job. Being very slow at taking down these towers of loathing. Got the missile launchers now in range. Should help them a bit. It'll be a massively uphill battle for Huntington. If anything's possible, if you just believe in yourself. Oh, a Manticore, that's exciting. I suppose if you're going up against an enemy that's primarily infantry, that Manticore will do a damn fine job. But tier 4 about to finish for... Well, not about to, it's halfway done for the Dark Eldar here. Got a Chimera Pact. Not called War Beasts in Unification. They're called Chimeras. Reasons beyond my ken. There we go, they're finally taking care of that. Here comes the Manticore. I mean, I don't know where these missiles are going. And that's just the animation. But they actually just explode whatever is nearby. So very long-ranged vehicles for Huntington. It was a big boom. There we go, look at that. And that just destroyed the vast majority of the Scourge squad. I'm not sure where you're fighting. Does that just... Nah. Maybe there was some other far-flung battlefield, like 10 kilometers away, that's being blasted at. Got a huge explosion again. Practically half-helving the entire squad, more or less. The Hydra moving forward, although still some Scourges alive. There's a lack of Dark Lancers on them there. Although those Vrax just absolutely annihilating a squad of Legionaries. Manticore moving a bit forward. Firing into the Archon over here. Probably really needs to sort it out. These Vrax here. And now with no infantry on the front lines. Don't know how these tanks are going to feel about it. But just point blank ranged firing right into those guys. Breaking them down quite nicely. Armored Sentinel with its auto cannon coming in as well. Dark Eldar are struggling to stay alive here, but focusing on the infantry first and foremost. Here comes the monstrous Chimera and a squad of Chimera packs. And yeah, that's very unfortunate. HUNtington very close to a, I would want to say, a brilliant comeback here, I think, with his choice of vehicles. But without a solid front line to keep these melee units away, he's going to definitely be feeling a bit of a bad time here. So that Vanquisher tank ace should be able to do a lot of damage to these units, but again unsupported. Look at that, he's only done a fair bit of damage to that Razor Wing jet fighter, but now has turned his attention to these warpy things coming towards him. And we've got the money for some more, but I think at the moment he's panicking. That's what I assume is going on here. Seeing all this death and sadness coming towards you, while also focusing on getting those decaps in on the critical locations. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I think that in that last engagement when the infantry was still alive, if that Manticore initially fired on the Vrax a couple more times rather than that Archon when it was surrounding the Hydra, they might have been able to get a squad wipe on this unit, preventing them from wiping out the Legionaries too quickly, and then giving them space to really make use of those ranged vehicles. And obviously, without having to panic, we've then had time to buy some more of the now quite substantial economy that he has.
You got a job for us?
But it's easy to watch and say, yeah, you know what, that's the mistake right there. But to actually play all these units charging towards your formations, a whole different thing entirely. The next game I'll be doing on the channel will be a best of 3 versus me and a chap from the Tinterwebs that I played the other night. Let me tell you now, casting is definitely my vibe, playing is not so much. There we go. He's, you know, doing the God Emperor's thing. He's attempting to hold on for as long as he can. My control bunker attempting to be built up. And I'm going to say, great certainty, especially with the Pimp Mobile, the Dice of Destruction coming out. Not much else that HUNtington can do. But yeah, I think it was just really unlucky. Also, maybe the Tank Commander path isn't the way forward for the Steel Legion against the Dark Eldar. Like I said, Dark Eldar quite tenacious in Tier 1. And with a Tank Commander thing, all the bonuses and benefits you get from that tech path only really start taking effect in Tier 2 and 3. So you really need to make sure that you're holding your own in Tier 1 against Dark Eldar. Otherwise, they're really going to punish you, as we saw with these 2 strategic points here. So there we go. So GG's everyone, and thank you for watching at home. Want to support the channel? Have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week, and there is also Discord, where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. As with Mr. Landshark, apologies always, never sure, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace.